perfect. You couldn't have asked for a better race for him, for a horse like him. You know, I couldn't believe my luck.
Well, we can't bring you the friendly bat, but you're very friendly to all these people. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could this be Loxong's swan song? Because in a few minutes' time, Britain's favourite racehorse of recent times will be coming out from the stable area into the parade ring, and she's going for a second successive win in the Prix l'Abbé. And considering, you know, that she was once considered a cripple and wouldn't even see a race course, she hasn't done too badly, has she? She's won nearly £500,000 in win prize money, but it's the manner of her victories that really thrills the crowds. Now, the last time we saw her was at York in August, where she started a red-hot favourite for the Nunthorpe Stakes. But look at the way she gets really excited as soon as Frankie gets on her back. She caught her hind quarters on the exit gate, and it's little surprise she ran so badly that day. But can she come back and recapture the sort of form that has made her the darling of British racegoers?
When I see my baby, what do I see? Poetry, poetry in motion, poetry in motion, walking by my side, her lovely locomotion keeps my eyes open wide. Poetry in motion, see her gentle sway, all wave out on the ocean, could never move that way. I love every movement, there's nothing I would change. She doesn't need improvement, she's much too nice to rearrange. Poetry in motion, dancing close to me, a flower of devotion for all the world to see.
But it's Loxong down the stand side. Loxong is going to take it. She's just simply burned them away. And it's Loxong who takes it from ecological finishing path. Loxong wins it. A unique treble.
Poetry in motion, see her gentle sway, all wave out on the ocean, could never move that way. I love every movement, there's nothing I would change. She doesn't need improvement, she's much too nice to rearrange. Poetry in motion, all that I adore, no number 9 love potion could make me love her more. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Those are happy days for Loxong. Will this be a happy one too? Well, all this atmosphere is, of course, against her, because that's what might just boil her over. And the crucial moment as she leaves this paddock, if that goes all right, maybe she can explode out of stalls and ready to devour them. It will be a wonderfully exciting Prix l'Abbé as always. 6 British runners, 1 from Ireland and 2 from Italy, and just 1 from France. Stay with us for the Speed Queens of Europe after the break.
Six months ago, I couldn't possibly have predicted what was going to happen. For many years, I lived with my husband, a compulsive gambler, here. Then, one day, he decided to leave, which was terribly unfortunate, because the very next day, I won the national lottery. How he would have enjoyed spending the money. Unfortunately, he never got the opportunity.
Safran by Renault. The car you have when you can have what you want.
It was my grandfather's idea. What the place could do with a fine avenue of broad-leaf limes. He never sat in the shade, he never saw the vista, but he had the vision.
There are still people who put others before themselves. At the Equitable Life, we pay no commission to middlemen, we have no shareholders, so you profit from our principles.
Oh, that's your game? Right, I'll be absorbed in...
With no shareholders and no commission to middlemen.
If you suffer from the burning pain of excess stomach acid, take Pepsid AC. One tiny pill controls excess acid for up to 9 hours.
What kind of stir-fry has ingredients such as garam masala, coriander and fenugreek? A Balti stir-fry from Sharwood's, a curry you cook in a wok. To authenticity, Sharwood's add simplicity.
This stamp collection is worth a guaranteed £1 million. Collect the stamps with the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday and you could win one of hundreds of daily cash prizes. You could soon be £10,000 richer, or even £20,000. And in every one of the monthly draws, someone will win £100,000. In all, we guarantee to pay out £1 million. It's not too late to start playing. Just pick up a game card from your newsagent and join in. Only with the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. A great new game from two great newspapers.
From just £9 a month, Bupa has a scheme to suit just about everybody. Ring free now 0800 600 500.
I don't say this to many people, but the job we do is the most important job I can think of.
Okay, guys, listen up.
I mean, there's no such thing as a B-plus mechanic on this airline.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Even the most junior mechanic can keep an airplane in this hangar if there's a hint of a problem. You might think a job like this would become routine, but every now and then, I just take a walk through the terminal. And right there, you see what's important.
American Airlines. It's American all the way.
When you can have what you want, you'll probably have this. The Safran Executive.
Walking the paddock here already, and Frankie Dettori is already waiting to get up on her back. I think we had a look at that just a couple of minutes ago, and very soon she'll be going out through, and Frankie Dettori will get on her. He's on board, and these are the crucial moments, because if he can just get through to the start with her cool, which in fact happened at Ascot. I was down at the start of Ascot. She arrived there just hat-canted down. She arrived there completely calm, and it's rather fascinating to watch. She goes from completely calm to absolutely lunatic speed almost instantly. She walked into the stalls as calm as that, and then she came out, and it's 0 to 40 mph in 10 strides and 4 seconds. Astonishing to watch close up, but certainly at the moment she seems very, very calm, so one has to be very optimistic.
A lovely sight at the moment. There's no sign yet of the crescendo of temperament which caused Loxong to virtually run away in 2 of her last 3 races. That was particularly at York, where she ran away with Frankie. At Newmarket, it was poor Willie Carson for whom the brakes failed. She can be uncontrollable, and she can, as you can see, walk along as calm as an old child's pony. Pray heaven that she stays calm for the next 10 seconds or so.
And the expectancy amongst British supporters, particularly on the left-hand side of your screen, that's the end of the Horse Racing Abroad stand.
Ian Balding now with her, Jim, you see.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the moment, she seems as cool as can be, and the big question will be, when she sees the turf, how will she behave? Last year she was as good as gold, and I know Willie Carson, when he was discussing what happened to him at Newmarket, he said that she's fine as long as she's not seeing other horses going away, and then she wants to be with them. And the portents are good so far. She is the even money favourite. It's 4 to 1 bar, and we know that Annabeth, there you are, she's just a little, ooh, steady. anxious moments. This is the big test for her, more so even than the race itself. At the moment, John, she's better behaved than York.
She certainly is. Of course, she hasn't been let go, and I think they're very wisely perhaps going to trot her down, lead her down all the way to the start. They've got plenty of time. I'm sure the French authorities will have given Ian Balding permission to do what he pleases, because they want this great sprinter to show her proper excellence. I don't believe it would be safe, really, to let her go now.
With me now is an anxious owner of Loxong, Jeff Smith. And Jeff, watching her go down, she seems to be relaxed. What do you feel?
Very much so. The French have been extraordinarily helpful. They've said that she could do just one turn by herself in the parade ring and then straight out, which of course is exactly what's happened. Chris is going to walk her for probably a furlong and then let her go, if Frankie's happy. And she's switched off, she's very relaxed, and you know, at this stage you've got to be very hopeful she'll get there in one piece.
Now, what have you done with her since we saw her in the Nunthorpe? You had her out at Grass for a couple of weeks?
She came back for 2 weeks. She'd obviously got extremely upset at York, but we managed to switch her off completely at the start, then back to Ian's, and at the start she put on about 20 plus kilos, 26 kilos. Ian's taken 22 of them off, so she's just about spot on. Relaxed, happy, and she's in cracking form. And as you can see, when she did the one circuit, she looks extremely well.
And win, lose or draw, is this going to be her last race?
If she wins, and she wins in anything like the style that she won last year, then we go to America. If she disappoints, then that's it.
I wish you all the very best, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
She's 11 to 10 against at the moment. She's got her opponents coming down in about 5 minutes to meet her. Here they come, Mr. Topoggio coming out. Just a brief break here. Let's get updated in the football with Don Howe and James Richardson.
Well, thank you, Paris. Well, here we are in Florence, Tuscany, the Artemio Franchi Stadium. In fact, we're waiting for Fiorentina Lazio on big game this afternoon. It's actually been pouring down since you last saw us, and I pity those poor souls on the other side with all the brollies and Macs and stuff. Don, anyway, you've managed to find your way here from Pisa Airport. A long way to come, but a game that should be worth a while, I think.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Fiorentina, and they've got a demanding crowd here. They need to get success. They're newly promoted. Their home form has been good. Let's hope they keep it up today. And then we've got Lazio, who are impressing everybody because they're going forward and they're scoring goals. They're very exciting to watch, so we ought to have a good game.
You're saying about the Fiorentina fans, certainly the coach, though, this morning was trying to play down the tension by saying that in actual fact, when you're playing a team like Lazio, it's not worth worrying about the result. You've just got to make sure your team plays well. But anyway, we'll be seeing how these teams get on later on when we bring you Fiorentina Lazio. Right now, time to hand back to the equine activities in Paris.
Yeah, this race is going to take an awful lot shorter time than a soccer match. Some 60 seconds it'll take. Loxong, one of cool as a cucumber, is a pretty corny and not actually correct cliche, but she's pretty calm, and that's the way you want to see her. But she's still got 9 opponents who are no mugs at all. She hasn't got much in hand, and let's see if she can handle it. The Prix l'Abbé, Group 1, European Sprinting Championship, some 70,000 to the winner. Let's have the full list from Graham.
And the Speed Merchants have earned over £1.5 million in win and place prize money between them. Number 1 is Mr. Topoggio, drawn 2, Kevin Darley. Then we have Piccolo, drawn 4, John Reed. 3, Late Parade, drawn 7, Michael Roberts. 7, Spain Lane. The sole French runner is drawn 10, Walter Swinburne. Tropical for Ireland, Blinkard normally is drawn 6, Michael Kinane. Lavinia Fontana is drawn 3, Jason Weaver rides. Great Deeds is 1, Willie Carson. Bunty Boo 9, Pat Edery. Loxong is drawn 8, Frankie Dettori has got about a quarter of a mile to go still to get to the start. There she is going behind the caption, and completing the lineup is Butina, ridden by Maurizio Pasquale.
Britain has won the Abbey 20 times. 15 favourites in the last 37 runnings have won it. They put Loxong in 1.4 to 1. That was nearly 6 to 4. And the very next show bounced her into 5 to 4 on. But she's now 1.1 to 1, that's equivalent to 11 to 10. That's the price against Lock Song. Lavinia Fontana, money for her, into 5 to 1. And Brutina, the Italian 2-year-old, and 4 2-year-olds have won the Abbey. The last was the French-trained CG in 78. She's 5.2 to 1. 6.3 to 1, the Irish filly Tropical, 5th last year. There is money for her. And France's sole representative, Spain Lane, out to 8.5 to 1. Mr. Topagigio, just over 10 to 1, with 13.8 to 1 Piccolo. Bunty Boo, nearly 30 to 1, and over 30 to 1 Great Deeds, and nearly 40 to 1 Late Parade. But it's 11 to 10 tips against Lock Song. Will the Franks now pile on her once they've seen her go down so coolly? And the result of the Rouen-Point Range Rover, Miss Flight wins it for Britain, Duffield and Wall, and pays 19 francs 70. That's 18.7 to 1. 3 francs 50 for the place. Green Tune was runner-up, 1 franc 20. And Royal Abjar was third, that's 2 francs 10. The forecast, the Jumeli, the dual forecast, 34 francs 60. But what a start for the Brits. 18.7 to 1. Back up to 1.
There is Chris Scudder, Lock Song's best friend and constant companion. Chris does her in all her time at home. He doesn't actually ride her work. Scully Arrowsmith, who rode her a couple of winners earlier in her career, actually has the honour of riding the filly work. But Chris has done a great long-distance running job here and has kept a tight head of the explosive filly's head. And I noticed that none of the other runners have come past her yet.
The others filing out now. In point of fact, Mr. Topagigio and Lock Song both went down. Well, Lock Song must have started about 18 minutes before post time, Mr. Topagigio about 3 minutes after, and the others are on their way now. Shows what can be done. Don't think any of the crowd here are too bothered. It's not upset anybody. Maybe the British authorities will take a close look at what's gone on. Obviously, you couldn't have 10 horses doing this, but this filly, or this mare, has added so much to the season. It would have been a shame if she hadn't run here. If the situation had been the same as at York, there's no doubt she wouldn't have been here. Talking of York, it's the last time we saw her in action. John, she was a great flop.
Yes, she's already fading out of the picture. She'd virtually run away on the way down and was never going in the race. Here, in fact, is Mr. Topagigio being tackled by Lock Song's stable companion, Blue Siren, in the white noseband and red cap. In fact, Blue Siren was later disqualified for interfering with Mr. Topagigio. You didn't see it there. That's Piccolo in second place in the end. He meets her again today.
Piccolo, one of 2 representatives for Mike Shannon. His second one is on the right of your screens. That's the little filly Great Deeds, ridden by Willie Carson, number 7. But there is Piccolo, Bonnie Colt by Warning, and a really tough campaigner. He had a busy time last year. Hasn't actually won many races, just 3 of his career total so far. And, of course, in one of those, as you have gathered, he was promoted to first at York. But most of the time he spent taking on the best. He's really tough. I think if you had to be objective here, you'd have to say that from what we know of him, that he might find 5 furlongs on a track as sharp as this one. They'll probably run under today's conditions, something in the region of 56, 57 seconds, a little bit quick for him.
Let's look at the Irish campaigner here, Tropical, who won her last race very, very comfortably indeed. Just look at this.
Tropical is a quirky filly, a little bit like Lock Song. She is a horse with a tremendous cruising speed, ideally suited by conditions that she has today. Good ground. Look at the turn of speed she can produce. She's running against several horses you'll know, Milliant, Risky, Great Deeds herself, Up and Atom. She absolutely sprints away. She doesn't always do it. Her ears are flat back there. She's a real madam, but if she's in a going mood, she could well go all the way to success here, because a blazing pace will suit her. She can't hit the front too soon. She has an expert rider in Michael Kinnan in the saddle.
She was one of those who wintered in Dubai And since coming back to Dermot Well, there's every sign that she's really captured the best of her form, provided she's on a going day.
Well, we mentioned earlier about the procedure of going down early. Let's look at another horse who took that option, Mr. Topajijo. What a fine season he's had. Operated on at the end of 1993 for a chip in a knee, and from not stretching in his races and finding much, he's become as reliable and game as they come. Got a short, sharp burst of speed that we saw to good effect here. Kevin Darley executing him and his late run to perfection. This wasn't top-class sprinting form as he shoots past a representative field, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, but he earlier, John, gave Loxong a near fright on terms much worse than today's at Goodwood.
Yes, he's only finished only a length and a half behind her. If the race will be run to suit him, he's certain to get a lead today. Question is whether he can catch it.
And there's over 30,000 packed into Longchamp. They've seen the evidence and they like it with Loxong. 1.4 to 1 she opened. She's now 0.8 to 1. That's 5 to 4 on Loxong. Lavinia Fontana just over 5 to 1 with 6.5 to 1 against the Italian filly Brutina. Tropical, good money for her still. 6.5 to 1 is 10 to 1 bar. That's the French horse Spain Lane, and Mr. Topajijo 11.7 to 1. But all the evidence the punters needed was Loxong's well-being. They've got that. That's why they're on. At 5 to 4 on is the price now.
They're going to be undone. This is surely the danger, Jim. Lavinia Fontana, who's won the Haydock Sprint Cup in her last race, beating Piccolo by 3.5 lengths. That was 6 furlongs, of course. Nevertheless, there's probably, I say probably, enough give in this ground to suit her.
Absolutely. I think she's certainly one of those that Loxong has to fear. John Dunlop was willing to let her take a chance on Festival Day at Ascot, but the owner wanted her absolutely at top of her form for today. John said she was as tough as old boots. She could easily have taken in the Diadem Stakes, but she's come here for her second autumn objective, the Prix de l'Abbé. In the background, number 10, Brutina, the filly from Italy, just shot through. She represents the pick of juvenile 2-year-old filly's form.
One fascinating about Loxong is last time she ran away on the way to the start. This time she hasn't even had a trot. In America with mad sprinters, they're ponied down, they do at least canter. She is going to go from a walk to flat-out gallop. And clearly they understand it very well. That's the best option, but I've never heard of that happening.
You see how Frankie just has the first 2 or 3 plats of Loxong's mane undone. That's to save his knuckles as they're resting on her neck. But I think he must be delighted with having arrived in the stalls so with comparatively little loss of effort.
Loxong has had much star billing in our build-up here. Let's hope she lives up to our expectations. There's Mr. Topajijo for a sharper dash, as you'll see in France all year. Here's Graham.
Yes, don't blink, under a minute this will take. And the Italian runner, Brutina, causing a little problem at the start, but it's Loxong already into the lead. Lavinia Fontana is second. Bunty Boo showing pace in third, also trying to run fast as late parade. Mr. Topajijo in those red and white stripes. The 2-year-old Brutina coming run. Great Deeds is towards the back. Don't forget they have to run the first 100 yards or so straight. This Loxong leading by a length. To late parade in second. Bunty Boo and Mr. Topajijo getting a good lead. They're past halfway. Great Deeds is stretched, and that's on the extreme right of the picture. Meanwhile, the Queen of Speed, Loxong, is clear by 2, and the roars are going up from the crowd, but don't rule out Mr. Topajijo and try to come through next to the rails, and is coming with a run on the inside of Late Deeds. They've got just under a furlong to go, and it's Loxong clear by 3. Here comes Mr. Topajijo in pursuit in second, but it's unavailing, and Loxong has a birth of away. Loxong takes the race again. Mr. Topajijo completes a 1-2, French through to third, but it's Loxong's race, and at the post, Loxong clear by 5. Loxong wins the Abbey. Mr. Topajijo second with Spain laying through to be third, then Great Deeds and Bunty Byrne, Late Parade, Lavinia Fontana, then Tropical and Piccolo, and last of all was a 2-year-old Brutina. What more can we say? Absolutely full credit to the French racing authorities for allowing Loxong to do as she pleased. Wouldn't please some of those at home, mark you, but she's landed the Group 1 Prix de l'Ave de Longchamp in the colours of Jess Smith, this homebred daughter of song, ridden by Frankie Dettori, whose grin is from here to here.
What a lovely sight. Maybe not quite as massacring as she did as her performance last year. She didn't ever get quite so far ahead of them, but it was plenty good enough. I wonder whether it will be good enough to persuade owner Jeff Smith and trainer Ian Balding to take Loxong to the Breeders' Cup, in which case, of course, we shall have yet another half an hour or heaven knows how long of anxiety. There she comes, back to a great welcome.
Centre stage, past the winning post now. Frankie acknowledges the cheers. He's quite visibly moved. Yeah, the ears are pricked. She's a real lady. Not a surprise that the hoot has gone. I don't think it involves Loxong, but there was real bunching at the start there. Tropical went back like a cork out of a bottle, and I would think it's not the first time we've been in France for the Prix de l'Ave and an inquiry has started into interference at the start. That's my guess anyway, but there was certainly some scrimmaging as the stalls opened. It didn't involve this mare, yeah. What a season he's had. This filly, who he has such a tremendous rapport with, part of an almost unbelievable season for Frankie Dettori, and it's not over yet.
I wonder whether the Arc winner will get a much warmer welcome. Really,
well, it won't have a more enthusiastic rider or more popular one.
Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer man or a nicer filly, because apart from her 2 explosions, Loxong never does any harm to the human race. The only member of the human race she doesn't much like is her vet. As a matter of fact, she doesn't approve of injections, and since he's had to give her a few, she doesn't like his entry into her box. But let's hear the applause now.
Oh, he's such a character. It's such a wonderful amphitheatre. An Indian summer and a love affair on a Sunday afternoon.
There's Jeff Smith, the owner, congratulating Frankie. Giving him a good old Italian hug. Now Ian Balding gets a hug. And
I hope he doesn't forget to weigh in, John.
Yes, heaven. Hope to heaven somebody reminds him. Well, we can't have too much of a good thing, so let's see it all again.
So they ping out there, and Tropical bumped into a Great Deed. Was that Great Deeds or the Italian challenger? Late Parade caught a bump there at the start. Tropical bumped her rather than the other way around. She was the one who went back like a cork out of a bottle. We still haven't had it confirmed as to what the inquiry or what the hooter went for, but I would think that